Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're in need of a website, domain or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. So I can't lie, I've been living in London for about a week already, but I haven't really been in the best state to make a video about what I'm up to yet, because for a decent portion of that time, I've been living in an empty box. I've just needed some time to sort out my possessions and furniture. For a long time, I was just using my computer laid against the wall on the floor. Wasn't very ideal, especially when I needed to edit some stuff. But that does mean now kind of feels like the first few days in the big city. It's not the first few days, I've been here millions of times. Not millions, but let's go do some stuff. I'm on my way to take some portraits of Amanda, who is a tattoo artist, as part of a trade. Seems to be a bit of a theme recently, but I guess it kind of makes sense. It's two of my interests kind of colliding, so let's go. I think these photos came out pretty nice. I shot them all on Portra 160, which was a bit dark for the situation, but it's all I could get. Portra seems to be really hard to buy at the moment. I have to say, I think the favourite ones for me are the ones on the bank of the Thames. I know it's kind of like a trend to do that kind of like focus on the background instead of the foreground, but I don't know, it just does look cool. I think as a diptych they work pretty nicely. The other photo I really like is the one with the cat. Satan is the cat's name. But the one thing I will say is, getting a photo with an animal is always horrible. Hopefully it outweighed the trouble of taking it. My first major problem with my setup here is the lighting. I'm kind of relying on some skylights hitting me, which only come in the morning, which isn't ideal for filming. I have brought my aperture light with me, which is great. However, my softbox is way too big for this room, so I think it's time to get a new solution. I headed over to Wex, photo video shop, to pick out a new softbox for my light. And I got this aperture lantern. I have to say, this is really cool. I'm really impressed with the mechanics of this. So it folds down really small and light, and then you kind of push it together against the wall, ideally, not like this. And it forms a nice, quick, easy softbox, which can completely change your lighting. Here I am, still against the wall with no light. Here's the lantern, huge improvement. And just for good measure, here's what it looks like if I bounce it off the wall or the ceiling. I still definitely need to figure out some sort of set here. This isn't as epic as I want it to be. I probably want some plants and a nice chair or something, but that can come in time. Taking photos of whatever I'm up to, diaristic photography I guess is what you could call it, something which I've really fallen out of the habit of doing. I feel like my life recently just hasn't been exciting enough to warrant taking photos of whatever I'm up to. I'm pretty excited to be doing this again, whether it's taking photos out watching the football, portraits of friends, or just the sights that I kind of stumble into. So here's some photos I took on my TC1 with Colour Plus. I've also had a couple of music videos come out this week which I've filmed. The first of which is probably the best thing I've filmed in a while in my opinion, and is a video for my friend Ed Scissor.
Pick us off. The nay's so young, the ring's so soft. 2 hands round your skinny neck, my forearms on your shoulder tops. One each side, tonight. Right on time, Saint Valentine. Aorta undulating deep. Of a masterpiece.
It's just a one-shot simple video, but everything in it kind of just works for me, you know? It doesn't need to be complicated. I think we really lucked out. This was literally one take. It took about 30 seconds to film the clip. It just all came together, you know, even the weather, the amount of rain, is all just kind of perfect. Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. The other one was kind of horrible to film.
Burger King tumbleweed. Town's teens headed out last night. Some through the front, wipers on the window blind.
It's a point of view kind of situation whilst driving in a car, and I just got horrendously travel sick, so won't be looking to do that again anytime soon. Maybe you're wondering, what cameras did George take to London? Well, if you are, you came to the right place. If you're not wondering that, tough. I'm going to tell you anyway. So I brought the Minolta TC1, my Mamiya RZ67, the Fuji GFX 100S, I think it's called, and the camera I'm filming this on, the S1H. And of course my iPhone, which I'm actually going to be trying to use a little bit more for filming now. Now I know some of you may not consider this at all minimal, it's still a handful of cameras, but to me it is. I mean, it's kind of been my job to own lots of cameras, so... And I feel like they've all got their kind of deserved spot. You've got the TC1 for carrying around on the kind of day-to-day, just taking some pictures, and it's kind of the perfect camera for this. It's so small, lightweight, doesn't really get in the way. Then you've got the RZ for the kind of portraiture stuff or anything a bit more serious, or if portrait for some reason isn't in stock like it seems to be all the time at the moment, you can shoot digital with Fuji. And then I seem to be doing more and more video work at the moment, so this thing. Something I've definitely missed out on from being outside of the city or from world events is going to art exhibitions. I haven't been to one in like a year and a half. So this morning, gonna head out, go to the photographer's gallery and just see some photos in person, because that's nice, I think. I mean, I remember it being nice. Okay, so I can't lie, it wasn't my favourite photography exhibition ever. It was slightly underwhelming. They hold this exhibition every year, it's like a prize, and normally it's one of my favourites to go to, but this year it just seemed to be a bit too far on the kind of cutting edge of photography, where photography isn't really photography anymore. One of the bits of the exhibition was literally just like a set that they built, and there weren't really any photos in it, but I don't know. I guess it can be cool, but to me, is it a photo exhibition? Probably not. But the thing that was really nice was actually going and seeing something in person for the first time in what feels like forever. There is a distinctly different experience from going to see photography in person, and it's something which I think everyone needs to do. So if the last year and a half, 2 years has kind of disrupted your life and you haven't seen any art in real life, now that things are open, go and take the chance to actually do it, because I neglected it for too long. It is definitely so much better than just scrolling through Instagram. And finally, I'd like to thank Squarespace again for sponsoring this video. If you want to purchase a domain, maybe start a blog, open a website for your business or your portfolio, or you want to open an online store, Squarespace has you covered for all this and much, much more. There's an amazing variety of different themes to get you started, and you definitely don't need any prior web building experience to build a really nice professional looking website. It really is just so easy to use, but if you do come into any troubles, there is amazing 24/7 customer support. There's really amazing features built in. One of the ones which I think is really cool is being able to schedule with clients through the calendar. That's just really handy. Having a website, in my opinion, is pretty kind of essential these days. If you're a creative person, you need to have a portfolio of your work out there and available to see in the best way possible. And Squarespace just makes this so easy to do, so you can spend the least amount of time figuring out how to code a website and the most amount of time out there making the stuff to actually put on the website itself. So if you want to get yourself a lovely new website today, you can follow the link in the description or use the code negative feedback to get 10% off your order. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry this has been like a bit of a half-baked episode. Next week, hopefully, the action gets real.